About when did your father come?
He came in 1911, and his story is that his mother and father um, both died within a year of each other, and there were 8 children. Two of the children were going to school in America in 1911, and six of the children from ages 23 to 5 were still in Russia, and they wanted to come to the United States to be with their other two brothers, but they had no one to bring them here except themselves. So in planning for that, it took 3 years, and they wrote a series of letters which have all been preserved, and they're all in Yiddish. Not all, there's one or two in Hebrew, and a couple in Russian, but 99% of them are in Yiddish. And some of them are very long, and they talk in quite some detail about all of the problems that the immigrants considered, both real problems and imagined problems, before they left on their immigration. One, for example, is that at Ellis Island, they put out I guess you'd call it a regulation, that to enter America, you needed $25 or else you would become what in the law was called a public charge. And that became a question in other ports as to whether the $25 applied. In Russia, it was interpreted is that if you didn't have $25, you'd be kicked out. And in some ports in the United States, they were very liberal. And in other ports at other times, they didn't enforce that rule uniformly. So sometimes it was necessary, and that became a big issue when I know a lot about it because there was a fellow from Atlantic City named Abe Resnick, and he was with my father and his brothers and sisters when they came in 1911, and he didn't have any money. And my uncle had some money, so he gave it to him, but he didn't get the fellow's name or address or anything, and the others. And he kept it from the rest of the family. He didn't give away this $25 because he thought he'd never get it back. But the fellow was very honest and came from Atlantic City to Philadelphia expressly to pay them the $25 back. But I don't think they needed it. Their immigration to America is really a story in itself, but they made it to Philadelphia, and the six of them were brought together with the two brothers here, and the 8 of them raised themselves. 5 of them went to college, and my father became a lawyer, and my mother was also a lawyer. So I'm a first-generation American.